Sad news out there for all those born before you could buy anything you want on the internet. The toy giant known as Toys R Us is finally going out of business. It just announced recently that it will be liquidating all its stores in the UK and US. It has filed for bankruptcy. It was unable to find anyone to either buy them or help with the loan and give them a loan. So unfortunately, they're going to have to give up all their stock. This is big news because they were one of the few big owned toy store only and baby sort of accessory stores out there that were open 24/7.
Both things that are very important to us personally.
Yes. A lot of, people our age remember maybe being able to go into a toy store, maybe because they had enough money, maybe they did something like as an award for a good test grade, and remember getting a good toy or getting some of those little sheets, for some video games, or if you got lucky, getting maybe some of those old Jeeps and stuff.
Yeah, some of those little Jeeps, man, that's the good stuff. Maybe you were a contestant on the Nickelodeon shows where you got to go through the aisles of Toys R Us and sweep as much stuff as you could into your cart.
Maybe when they actually go in start their big sales, we should just go there and do that. We just take a card and see how much.
But then we don't pay for them.
No, we run out.
We can't afford it, but we just for fun.
Yes, but it does raise a lot of big, interesting questions for both the stock market, for both the consumer and distributors. For companies like Lego, this is a big deal that it's gone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So other places such as Amazon, Target, Walmart, which Toys R Us has said is one of the big things that have eaten away from them, will have to take bigger pressure because more people are going to buy from them with their stocks, and hopefully they can keep up with it.
I think they'll be okay. I think they're not too worried about
this.
We'll
see. I mean, we'll see when it comes to the winter when the more tour sales.
Another one falls. Yes, good.
But there are a bunch of other issues. For example, that they weren't able to pay a lot of their the distributors. They got stock without paying for it. So because some of the companies are going to be, all right, how are we going to deal with this now?
I know that they owed a lot of money, in particular to both Mattel and Hasbro. We're in debt to those companies. We are a board game channel, and Toys R Us also was specifically, I think, one of the few major places, where you could find a big board game section. In addition, now it's basically Target and Barnes & Noble. And that's really the only ones I can think of. Besides, just talking about major retail chains. And Toys R Us, maybe didn't cater as much to the hardcore crowd, but certainly they had some of those games in there, the Catans, the Ticket to Rides, that you could find. So, and with Hasbro, of course, being one of the biggest manufacturers of board games. So that's kind of a big hit. But then again, maybe it's not, because one of the reasons they probably closed is because people weren't buying board games from them, I guess, or any of these stores.
There actually are a lot of other interesting things too. Is one, the Canadian stores and possibly some of the best-selling U.S. stores might actually stay open because MG Entertainment, I think is the name of the company, a toy company that for brats and stuff, is made a bid to get those stores because I'm going to keep them open. They want, and from what I heard, they want to keep the name. I think the Canada one's pretty obvious, and the U.S. stores is in the air. This would be really important because I know a lot of employees aren't even getting severance from this, which really sucks. But if they could keep their job, it'd be pretty nice.
Yeah, well, they haven't actually announced the time when they'll officially be closing everything, right? So as of right now, you can still go into
Right.
them.
I mean, there's some rumors going around when they're actually going to start the liquidating process, but it changes for each article you read.
Yeah.
But another interesting article I read, or two, one is that the Toys R Us sales, because one of the things they also blamed was the decrease in population of babies being born. Okay. And you actually look at the number of children being born in the U.S., it almost matches up perfectly with their sales, which is really interesting. Yeah. And it makes sense considering what the products sell.
But there's a rise of man-children like us who love going to Toys R Us to still buy toys.
Yes, but we're also the same man-children who don't want to leave the house, so we just go to Amazon.
That's true.
But the other big thing is
there's a lot of big things.
Toys R Us is a big store.
Yeah, it sure is.
What's going to take its place?
What's going to happen to Jeffrey the giraffe? Do they have a home for him? I don't think anything's going to take its place. I mean, that's my guess.
No, I don't mean figuratively in the spot. I mean there's a huge retail land.
Literally? What's going to go to those? Walmarts?
Some places don't think they're going to have to break them up into smaller lots somehow and try to make a bunch of mini stores. Some places are some companies I heard are are saying like, oh, we're just gonna wait until the rent drops like really low because no one else is gonna buy a line.
I don't know what went into the Times Square location when they left that
Gap
earlier. Oh, really? A gap. Very metaphorical. Yeah. Okay. So maybe they'll all be gaps. Hey, baby gap. That's a
there
thing.
we go. All the baby. They don't even take the baby part of like the thought.
Baby gaps are us. Yeah. And I was also thinking about, Toys R Us, sometimes they get exclusive stuff. I know sometimes we talk about the game Drop Mix that we're big fans of, and they had a Toys R Us exclusive music card pack that now stuff like that is like, oh, you better go out. Who knows where that's going to end up?
No, I mean, I don't think it's an issue now, but they've had exclusive Amiibo. They have some exclusive Transformers figures. Those are just the ones I know because I actually look into that stuff. So it's curious what's going to happen with those, where all that's going to go. Yep. I mean, I have a feeling we're going to be safe because I doubt Hasbro will be like, well, you know what, that exclusive, that store's gone. We're not making that anymore.
Yeah, but who knows? It could be a while before they figure out. It's also, I wonder what the licensing deals are like for that. Like, does Hasbro have is there like a clause in there? If we go out of business, you can sell this at Best Buy instead or something.
Right, that could be weird. Some of the stuff like that.
Yeah, it is crazy because even back in September, I think it was when they first announced they were closing a bunch of stores. I had thought like, well, they've closed stores before. Like, I never really seriously thought they would go out of business just because.
Yeah, no, neither did I, because I felt like, okay, maybe they just got too big, and once you get small enough, people.
They've been around our entire lives. It seems like such a staple.
No, I remember going as a kid, and buying some of my really old Transformer toys. And
Yeah.
So a lot of the stuff you see on set might have come from there, or at least the older stuff.
But this could be a thing. Like, I know, our parents had Woolworths, the old department store. They used to be like Walmart. It was everywhere, and now they're just completely gone. And it is crazy to think that in the future generations, kids aren't going to know what Toys R Us is. They're not going to know what it is.
Unfortunately, we can't all stay Toys R Us kids. We have to grow up.
We had to grow up sooner or later. I mean, I think about walking down those aisles, looking at those bikes, those Jeeps, as you mentioned. Classic games, of course, like Trouble, Clue Junior, Monopoly Junior. I think of all those.
I did pick up the Magic games for my brother there.
Oh yeah, I mean, they were huge, I think, in terms of trading card games. Magic, I remember we would hunt
No, I meant the board game.
Oh yeah,
but
CCGs as well. When we would hunt down for the Dice Masters cards when they first came out, we'd try to find Toys R Us. Even though Toys R Us was always one of those places where I would be like, the people there, it was hit or miss if they would have any idea what you were talking about when you asked them in terms of trading card games. But it was one of those places. Pokemon cards, really big. So that is, I guess most people though, I don't know if they will take a hit, those companies, or if people had already migrated to the local stores.
I mean, what I'm really curious to see, assuming that this liquidation is relatively quick and the stores close, let's say by the end of August, September, full year.
Yeah.
What's the winter sales going to be like? I think that's where we're going to see how big of an impact this made. Will it just be like, as you said, oh, Target, Walmart, Amazon won't even care. That's just, everyone's still going to come to us anyways. Or are they going to feel a lot more pressure and be like, we actually cannot handle this many. We weren't expecting this many for figures because our past years didn't have that much.
Yeah, maybe. Depends on how much. I don't know exactly how much Toys R Us had already dropped. So maybe it's so gradual that we didn't even notice, and I don't know.
But I mean, I'm still having a hard time sometimes finding some stuff on Amazon, or at least at fair prices. So
yeah, that can be a struggle. So yeah, it's a weird, sad thing. I mean, ultimately, I have gone into Toys R Us fairly frequently for some of those exclusive things we talk about, birthday presents or whatever. I mean, I do a ton of my shopping online, but sometimes it just has a fun atmosphere to go into a big toy store and see all the toys.
I mean, in particular, as we said, we grew up on it.
Yeah.
So, for us, going into the Toys R Us was, it always, I think part of you always remembers it was a reward almost.
Yeah.
So going there, even though it is, I think they're usually more pricey than you probably can find cheaper online stuff. It just felt like fun. And
it's also one of the few stores that exist that's primarily for kids.
No, exactly. That's why I'm like, will the pressure.
Like Target, like Walmart, they have everything.
In fact, if you go to a lot of stores, like I know the Target near me and close to you as well, they've remodeled a lot of their stuff. And I know their toy aisle area has actually greatly decreased. Oddly enough, their board game section has increased.
Yeah, maybe kids want fewer toys and more board games. There's still what, FAO Schwartz, I
No,
think?
Toys R Us bought them.
Oh, did they? So they're gone. And I know KB Toys has been gone for a while. So I guess there really is no toy store anymore, other than mom and pops.
Yeah, not that I can think of.
It's a crazy thing, man. It's a crazy thing. Well, get out there while you still can. Check into Toys R Us, buy some games. Say hi to Jeffrey for us if you see him. He's tall, but yeah.
He'll be crying in the corner.
The tears will be. You'll be like, oh, it's raining. Oh no, it's just Jeffrey crying on me. Typical thing that you'll see. Boy, let us know. Leave a comment, please, if you have some fond memories of Toys R Us. Thoughts on how this will affect Hasbro or any of these other companies.
Yeah, especially if you have any knowledge in the legal area where this might be, because like I said, there's a lot of different factors that pulled into this and maybe how this may or may affect other companies as well. Like you said, the whole Hasbro thing, we have no idea how.
Yeah, Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast, all those people.
And like the limited edition or exclusive stuff.
Yeah.
So let us know in the comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe. Until then, I'm Will.
I'm Jonathan.
And this is Benny. Roll for crit.
we can say it at the same time. Make sure you like and subscribe and leave your comments down below.
Before it's too late!